Happy Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I scared you through my little intro there. Welcome back to Talos of Tech Live on Twitch. I got the Discord hoodie out because it's finally getting cold again, which in California doesn't get very cold. This is probably like as temperatures get in summer for a lot of you. But for us, it's colder than usual. I had a very bundled up morning. And I finished doing my AirPods Pro first impressions video. And because it's Halloween, I figured we'd do a chill stream. We don't have to talk about anything specifically. I'll let the chat dictate what we can talk about, unless, of course, I don't want to talk about it. And then we won't talk about whatever the chat wants. But I just mean there's no particular topic. There's a lot of different things we can talk about, whether it's my... I'm not even 24 hours in with my AirPods Pro. I got these so late in the day. UPS, like, it was out for delivery since early in the morning, but they still didn't deliver it until... It was like 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, which is normally when, like, you know, my wife's back from work, we're getting ready for dinner, and I had company over. So it was just at a really bad time for them to be delivered. So I couldn't really do like the normal sit down unboxing type video. So we just had to live stream them very briefly because I was just like, okay, I need to flex on all the peasants. I need the audience to know I got them. But I don't have time to edit a whole video or film a more professional looking AirPods Pro video. So today's video isn't an unboxing. It's just an impressions thing. Like, these are the first things I notice. Obviously a week or two later, I'll do a full on review, and probably as time goes on, I'll do more in-depth analysis of the AirPods Pro. So 10 bits from CWAB says, I can't give you candy, but here's some bits instead. Thank you. I'd rather have bits than candy, to be honest with you. I'm trying to eat healthier a lot lately, so Halloween's like evil because it's just an excuse for us to eat a ton of candy. So let's not do that. I'm going to try to avoid doing that. You should do a reaction stream for Wild Nights. That's right. When is that launching? I know it's tomorrow, but what time zone does Apple TV Plus launch? Is it like at 9 a.m. or is it like midnight, or when does it officially drop? Is it like midnight Pacific time, or I don't know. Why is the unboxing stream not on Twitch? Because I just wanted my most dominant audience to know about it, which was YouTube. So I was like, we'll do a YouTube stream. It'll be brief. I mean, if I would have just filmed and edited an unboxing video, so many other people had already done it before me. I was not first on that regard at all. So I was like, it's going to be a lot of work, and I doubt the video is going to do very well. But if it's live, if people know that it's happening like in real time, maybe they'll be more inclined to watch it. And they did. We got a few super chats. And we had almost like 1,000 people tune in for that very brief, like 15-minute stream. But I had places to go. I had family and friends over, so it was complicated. But I was just like, that's the quickest way I can. I was borderline ready to just unbox them and not film it. I've very rarely done that since I've had a tech channel. I think there's only been a couple of times in my YouTube career that I've bought a tech product, like a major one or an Apple one, that I just decided not to film or make a video about. I think the iPhone 7 Plus was one of them, because I had a friend who got his 7 Plus before me, but he very graciously let me unbox it on camera. But then if you guys remember that old video, that's when at the end another version of me comes out and says, "Hi, I'm from Best Buy," and then shoots me, and then I wake up and the 7 Plus is gone. So I figured that once I actually got my 7 Plus for real, I was like, okay, I don't need to do a second unboxing video. People have all seen me unbox it already. So when I got my 7 Plus, I didn't film it. I just unboxed it myself. And I think there were times where I like got rid of my OG AirPods, and then I gave someone else I either sold them or gave them away to someone else, and then I needed new AirPods, and I was like, okay, there's no new AirPods news, but I need new AirPods, so I bought some, and then I just unboxed them. But aside from that, other than that, I've just always been documenting every unboxing as much as I could. Use different EQ to see how it handles different sounds per music or overall. Not really. I tried not to, because I switch between so many different devices with my AirPods. 1 second I'm on the iPad, 1 second I'm on the iPhone, next I'm on the Mac. So if I had to tinker each one for different equalizer things, I'm not really that interested. And I'm also like I've said for years, I'm not an audiophile. I really don't notice that much difference in headphones. I do notice a difference between AirPods 2 and AirPods Pro. There is an audible difference here that you can pick up, but it's not so black and white as remember the last gen Apple earbud design, the like circular one before they looked like AirPods, like before the wired earpods even. Before they looked like this, they had this big circular speaker that just kind of stuffed in your ear, and they were kind of uncomfortable and they didn't really sound great, but at the time I had nothing better, so that's what I was used to back then with those earbuds. So as soon as I got the iPhone 5, which is the first iPhone that shipped with the redesigned earpods, the ones that look like AirPods except with the wires, as soon as I put those in, I was like, "Oh, that sounds amazing." It was like night and day. It was objectively clear and better. And I was like, these are the best headphones I've ever worn. Those were like a very noticeable switch over. AirPods Pro, I can't really say the same thing. These are not like a night and day, oh, these are objectively better. This sounds way nicer. Dependent on the song I was listening to, I did occasionally prefer the sound of AirPods 2 over AirPods Pro. Which at first I thought it was crazy. I thought I was crazy, but then I watched iUpdate's video on it, and he said he sometimes preferred the sound of regular AirPods as well, opposed to AirPods Pro. But it's not been consistent very much. Keep in mind, like, I haven't even had these for an entire day yet. And this morning I just did an in-depth, I'm kind of repeating the tech video, so I guess you guys get the early access, but the tech video still has a bunch of jokes in it. So even if it's just this topic over again, please watch it. Okay, there's fun stuff in it. I went back and forth this morning, try it out. Regular AirPods, AirPods Pro, regular AirPods, AirPods Pro, listening to the same song on both, and then tried a different song, a different genre. And occasionally I was like, okay, now the AirPods Pro sound better, especially if it was like an acoustic song. I could pick up way more detail in singers' voices and in the guitar than the regular AirPods. But then in songs that are very, very, very bass heavy, I almost felt like the regular AirPods had more punch to them when it came to bass quality. But then after a while, I would stay on the AirPods Pro, and then I would feel like, okay, now the bass sounds better on the AirPods Pro. So it's a toss-up at this point. All I'm trying to say is it's not objectively like, oh, they sound much better. But over time, maybe they just needed to break in my eardrums a little bit. Maybe they just needed to get comfortable in my ears. After a while, they started sounding better in all aspects, in both bass and in regular music. And of course, this is ignoring the noise cancellation thing. So if you care about noise cancellation, obviously the AirPods Pro are always going to outshine the regular AirPods. So yeah, in that regard, AirPods Pro are great. I turned on noise cancellation in a noisy environment, and I was dumbfounded how quiet it was able to make the situation. It was just dead silent, and I'm very impressed by that. So yeah, I'm very happy with the noise cancellation part, and I have decided I want to keep these. Maybe that decision will change at a later date, but at this point, I think they sound great. The noise cancellation is excellent, and I mean the fact that Apple doesn't just redesign headphones very often, and this happens very rarely, just makes me want to keep them for that aspect alone. But yeah, there's a lot of things I like about them. Okay, how's your HomePod update? The handoff is really convenient. Yeah, as far as I've seen, that's like the one feature I really like about the new HomePod update is you can just hold your phone over the HomePod and it starts playing the music. Apart from that, I know there's other things they added, but I haven't really taken advantage of much. Got another bit donation who says, so today in school, someone spotted my AirPods Pro, and I showed them to the whole class like Steve Jobs held up his products. That's great. I love that experience too. Back when freshman year of high school, I was like the first kid in the entire class to have the iPhone 5 when it first came out, and it was taller and thinner and everything. I remember when I had it, I drew a crowd. There's all of my friends or even people I didn't know all came around. They were like, "Whoa, is that the iPhone 5? Look how tall the screen is." It lasted for about 10 minutes, but it was fun. It was really cool for a moment. Everyone says it's not good for airports. I can't say I agree with everyone. I mean, I've seen lots of people say that it's very good for travel. I'm sure There may be audiophiles out there that say that over ears are going to be better for uh, noise cancellation, but these are very different products. I mean, comparing earbuds to over ears, they're completely different experiences. I mean, yeah, you can have noise cancellation with over ear headphones, but they're not going to fit in your pocket. That's something you have to like specifically have a traveling case for. I guess these have a traveling case, but you have to use it because it's the charge case. That's the only way to charge them. And they can also fit in the mini pocket. Your pocket's pocket. That's how tiny these are. They're so compact. I've never seen. I think they're still the record holder for the smallest wireless earbud charge case, and now they're the record holder for smallest active noise canceling earbud charge case there is. You can't find another pair of active noise canceling earbuds that can fit in a charge case this tiny. So they have that over ears, which is just like they serve different purposes. That's what I mean. Like someone in the market for earbuds probably has reasons for not going with an over ear specifically. It's kind of like comparing a sedan to a pickup truck. Yeah, they're both cars, but they're very different cars for different sorry, for different purposes. And that's how I feel about earbuds and over ears. Like for me, whenever I wear over ears, I always get a lot of pain on the top part of my head where it mats down my hair. Even when I wear very comfortable, expensive ones, over time it starts to hurt the top of my head, which is why I usually prefer earbuds. And I also don't like carrying around the charge case. So that's why I would choose earbuds over. And I personally think it's really not my place to try to compare active noise canceling between AirPods and Bose or Sony's because I don't use those, and personally the sound differences are very, very hard to pick up for me. So I say it's all semantics in my opinion, like the difference in noise cancellation. The point is it cancels out background audio. Some might do it very slightly better than the other, but ultimately I don't think that's why you should choose it. The reason why AirPods sell so well is not because they have the best sound quality of any headphone. We all know that. They weren't like the highest and most fine-tuned pair of headphones the world had ever seen, and that's why they sold so well. No, the reason they sold so well is because they're convenient. It's about the whole picture. It's not just performance. It's about the experience of using them. AirPods are very easy to set up, pair to the phone, very easy to use, as in you just pull them out to pause, put them back in, they keep playing, very easy to charge. That's what made them successful, and I think that's what's going to make AirPods Pro successful. No, they're not. I don't know. Maybe some people I've seen say the noise canceling is better than their Bose over ears, and other people disagree. But that's the issue with audio debates, is that they're very subjective. Headphone debates are incredibly dependent on the person's personal preference, what they're used to, what they're accustomed to, what they like using. Like there's a lot of people that I've seen straight up say the AirPod sound quality is garbage and they hate it so much. And then there's people like me that I've tried other headphones aside from AirPods, and I still prefer regular AirPod sound quality. Every time I put those in, I'm just like, these sound great. I love the bass. I love the balance. I love them. And that's just personal preference. We all have different sized ears too. We have different shaped ears than each other, so that's why we can't all come up with objective audio preferences for each other, because we all have different customs to. How did you get the Tailosive T1 the left side of your name? What do you mean? Oh, the people in the chat have been Twitch Prime subbing for a long time. For those of you who may not know, I apologize if you know this. You've heard it a million times. If you have Amazon Prime, did you know that you can support me for free? And yes, there are benefits. If you link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you can subscribe to me once a month with Twitch Prime, which doesn't cost anything. It's completely free. It's included with your Prime subscription, and that supports me directly. Thank you very much. And you can also link that with your Discord account, and you can access the premium channels of our Discord server, which I'm much more active in than the regular channels. There's a lot less people access to them, so it's a bit more personal. You also get those badges next to your name so that you can stand out from the crowd and flex on the non-Twitch Primers in the chat. And the longer you've been a Twitch Prime sub, the better the badge next to your name gets. So Cbwabs has Touch ID. That's how it starts. After that, it becomes Face ID. And then after that, it becomes the Tailosive T. And I think after 2 years, it'll turn black. So it changes over time even more. But anyway, that is out of the gate, and I'll be keeping my AirPods 2 as well. I still like these, and I still think these sound really, really good. And while the AirPods Pro are on the expensive side, personally, I'll bring this up. The wireless charging regular AirPods bundle purchase, I think, is now more pointless. Personally, I feel like we don't need this anymore. Wireless charging regular AirPods for $200 when you can spend an extra $50 to upgrade to AirPods Pro. I feel like everyone's just going to go with this anyway. So I'm not saying that they should get rid of the classic AirPods, but they should probably only sell the $160 pair. Because if you're not looking to spend, over $200 on headphones, having $200, spending an extra $40 just so you can have Qi support. I mean, I like Qi chargers, but I mean, it charges so slowly anyway. Like, I personally think it should just be, there shouldn't be 3 different genres. There should be AirPods, AirPods Pro. That's it. There's the $160 regular AirPods without noise cancellation, and then the $250 AirPods Pro. So that's what I think it should be. Let's see. I have a problem with the rubber tips of in-ear headphones. Don't like them. I'm sticking to my first-gen AirPods, and I can understand that too. Like, I have to say my experience with AirPods Pro has not been like incredible and amazing. I have some issues with them, and I'm still not completely sold on the rubber tip headphones. Like, I think it's because with AirPods, the old ones, there was only one way to put them in. Like, same with the charge case. You just drop them in and they click in. It's that simple. I dropped it. But with your ear, you just kind of tuck them in, and it's so simple, and they just hang there. And for me, at least, they fit in my ear just fine. With the with the AirPods Pro with the rubber tips, I feel like they go in and then they come out a little bit, and then you have to like adjust them, make sure they're oriented the right way to get the proper seal. And I wore these things for a good couple hours this morning, and they did start to hurt my ears a little bit. Not a lot, just enough that like if I moved my face in a weird way or that made some kind of odd noise. Oh God, did noise cancellation turn on? That sounds weird. If I made some kind of weird noise with my voice, oh yeah, there they go. They turned on. Then they would start to hurt my ears a little bit. If I was asleep on a plane and I was just leaning back, I don't think they would have hurt. But these are the smallest rubber tips, by the way. They don't make them any smaller. So I don't think it would hurt my ears less to get the large pair. Maybe I'm wrong. But all I'm trying to say is regular AirPods, I think, still have their place. I think they still have a purpose, and they still have a market. There's still going to be a good number of people that should probably stick with the regular AirPods. What I'm trying to say is I'm glad they made AirPods. It's good that they're making more active noise cancellation and working with transparency mode and everything. And it's important to keep in mind that a lot of people couldn't wear these because they fell out of their ears super easily. So Apple's kind of tackling the demographic of people that couldn't really utilize these very well with AirPods Pro, but I don't think that means they should abandon the old design. They should probably keep this around for the people who don't like the in-ears, that don't like the rubber tips, or maybe don't care too much about active noise cancellation and don't want to spend $250 on earbuds. The benefit is both. The benefit is options. So Apple, please keep both of them around, right? Like, keep the old traditional design out there and keep updating it. If there's a new H2 chip with better battery efficiency, or you find a better way to pack better sound quality in the traditional design, please do. Don't just admit that, okay, rubber tips and active noise cancellation, this is the future. Everybody needs to adopt to it, and then eventually just ditch the old design. Everybody has to get AirPods Pro now. I think they should really keep this around. So please provide the option for both, Apple. Please don't abandon the old design. So yeah, I guess as customers, in the earwax buildup on the rubber tips, I guess we have earwax buildup on both. I feel like the charge case doesn't... this happens a lot. I'll drop a ProPod into the case, and it doesn't, like, make it in all the way. So I have to, like, push it to fall. It doesn't click in like the old AirPods do. Everyone needs both. Yeah, I'm keeping both. I'll keep both. I mean, in the grand scheme of Apple products that I review and keep around, $250 is not that much. Like I can afford that. Don't worry, I won't go bankrupt. But when it came to things like the Series 5 Apple Watch, which is $900, it's like always on display. Yeah, no, I don't want to pay $900 for that. But thank you, the Lion 378 for the Twitch Prime sub. He's reached a year. Wow, 12 months. Thank you very much. Says I'm serious considering the pros, but $249 is expensive. I don't have AirPods at the moment. Okay, understand. Understandable. 250 is high. I understand that as well. Compared to competitors, I still think they're reasonably priced. Personally, I don't think that they're overpriced as a product. I think they're still very simple with the transparency mode. The fact that you can just hold the stem to turn it off and on is really intuitive. The battery from the charge case is really impressive. Super happy, by the way. Super happy. They include They include the Lightning to USB-C cable in the box. I love that. I love having more Lightning to USB-C cables. Like buying them directly from Apple, I think they're like $20 or something stupid like that. Like expensive for a cable. But luckily, I've never bought one, and I've only had USB-C to Lightning cables included with me now from the iPhone and now the AirPods Pro. So that's a lot more versatile because it's like, cool, I can still use the old traditional Lightning, but I can plug in to all my different. I got way too many USB-C charge bricks. I have like 5, and they're all like either 18 watt, 30 watt, or 60 watt. Thank you, Apple, for intruding the USB-C to Lightning cable. But Greg, what's his name? Greg's Gadgets on Twitter also brought up a good point, which is that there's probably going to be some demographic of people who buy AirPods Pro and they don't have anything USB-C to charge with. Because keep in mind, they still don't ship with a charge brick, which makes sense. The smallest USB-C charge brick Apple makes right now is $30. And it's an 18 watt. So to include an 18 watt charge brick with AirPods would be kind of overkill. But that's why I'd be kind of in favor of Apple making a smaller wattage, cheaper charge brick that's also USB-C. Like right now, $30 for the cheapest one is pretty low. I mean, pretty high for like, okay, I need a USB-C charge brick because either I don't have an iPad Pro, I don't have a MacBook Pro, I just have like an older computer and an iPhone, and it's not a Pro, like I just have an iPhone 11, but then I bought AirPods Pro. You'd be like, oh shoot, I don't have a way to charge this. So it could be actually an issue for a small, I think it's not the majority demographic, but there's probably at least a couple people out there. So it'd be nice if Apple responded with a 5 watt USB-C charge brick. I think while it wouldn't be like a hot selling item, I don't think a lot of people would buy it. It would be helpful to just have a cheaper charge brick you can get from Apple that still supports USB-C. And there's people that charge their phone overnight. You know, they don't need to fast charge every time. Yeah, I know you could obviously go third party, but I just mean Apple should have a solution as well, just because it's their accessories, their products. Their solution shouldn't be let's say if someone didn't have a MacBook Pro, didn't have an iPad Pro, and they were like, I bought an iPhone 11 and then I bought AirPods Pro and now I don't have a way to charge them. When you're in the Apple store, you're like, what do I do? How do I charge these things? The only thing they can say is, well, go buy this $30 18 watt charge brick. That's the only solution. You can charge your AirPods with this giant brick, which I don't believe the AirPods support fast charging through the Lightning port or anything like that. They charge pretty slowly. So, or they can recommend you get a Qi charger and exclusively charge via Qi, which is probably going to be even more expensive. So that's not a great alternative if they were able to just say, okay, buy a $10 USB-C brick. There you go. Charging with iPhone 11's cable. iPhone 11 is USB-A to Lightning. Oh, that's right. They could still charge it with Lightning. So they'd have to charge it with the same charger their iPhone got. Got it. Okay, so it's not that complicated. They still have Lightning, but they can't. But the main point is that they can't use the cable included with the box. They were sent a cable that they can't plug into anything. So you could still charge them. You would just have a useless cable until USB-C came around, I guess. Assuming everyone would eventually get there. Anker was dumb enough to make an 18-watt USB-C in the size of an Apple's 5-watt charge brick. Is that dumb? That just sounds convenient and nice. Which is stupid because the 5-watt gets so hot already. Oh, I guess you just don't want it to get hot? I don't care. I don't have to hold it. It's plugged into the wall. Who cares? Let it get hot. Do you think the Series 3 is still a good buy in 2019? Yeah, if it's your first Apple Watch, it's a very compelling price point. All the features the Apple Watch has for $200. I would say try to find it on sale. It's an old enough Apple Watch that it probably goes on clearance a lot at like Target or Best Buy or something. You could probably find one for $20-$30 off and then get it for like under $200 ideally. So anytime someone asks about buying an older generation product, I'm always like, look around, shop around. Don't just buy brand new straight from Apple, because if it's old enough, there's probably going to be a few deals. My 12-watt iPad Pro 2017 charger gets really hot. Yeah, it's fine. Don't hold it. Why do you need to hold it? It's the charger. It plugs in the wall. What charger doesn't get hot? Don't trust third-party chargers. I mean, I've heard good things about the Anker chargers. It's like any product. Like, look at the reviews. It's on Amazon. If it has 4.5 stars, it's probably a decent product. Don't trust the first-party chargers. They might suck. Like the Pixel stand. That's a first-party charger. And then that made the phone overheat. Oops. Someone made a Reddit post about the Pixel 4, and they said they had 55% battery left after 1 hour of screen on time. I was like, oh, my God. How embarrassing. Also, in other news, we've been talking about AirPods a lot. I'm starting to get tired of it. Too much flexing. Eventually, you got to stop flexing and just let that meat dangle down there, right? There's been more leaks for the MacBook Pro, which is evident that it is coming soon. We just don't know when. Most likely, Apple's going to surprise us one morning. It could literally drop at any time. Literally. Like, there's no schedule. There's no time frame they're working in. The Apple Mac Pro just got FCC approval, and that means that it's going to be shipping soon, so that's not going to be delayed till next year. If they're getting FCC approval and they're starting up production and everything, that means Mac Pro is going to be ready for shipping probably in a couple more weeks. Maybe if things get delayed, they'll wait until December, but I personally think it'll be some point in November. And my guess is that the same day they launch the Mac Pro, it'll be the same day they launch the 16-inch MacBook Pro, which there's another icon. I'll show you guys if you haven't seen it. Probably some of you have seen it. There's another icon hidden within macOS Catalina that's evident of the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Let's find the icon here. There it is. So we know it's a different MacBook because it's a larger footprint than before. So this is even more disappointing. I'm super happy I'm not in the market for a Mac right now, because if you were excited all year for the next gen MacBook Pro because you heard there was going to be a 16-inch one and you were like, oh, there's going to be thin bezels and everything, this is going to disappoint you so much when I show you this. Oh, Chevy Wolf said, boo. God! Boo. You scared the crap out of me, Chewy Wolf. Did I say Chevy Wolf? Oh, God. Don't do that. Scare the bejesus out of me. Ah, my God. Okay. So now on to something even more scary. This is the 16-inch MacBook Pro Touch ID demonstration, which, as you can see, there's a clear visible line between the Touch ID sensor and the touch bar. And there are luckily people on Twitter that have compared this icon with the 15-inch MacBook Pro one, and it's a noticeably larger footprint. Let me see if I can find someone who showed it. They had a good comparison because they lined up the keyboards to be exactly the same. The other bad news about this leak is that it showcases the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Well, this isn't necessarily bad news. It might be good news for some of you. Is still rocking a butterfly keyboard. So as many rumors as we got about the 16-inch MacBook Pro going back to the scissor key mechanism. This one in the code of macOS Catalina is not a scissor key. It's very clearly the same keyboard as before. Here it is. Okay. So here's the split view. Here's the 16-inch. There's the 15-inch. So as you can see on the side here, the aluminum body goes out further. The speaker grill goes out further. The delete key doesn't move, but the Touch ID sensor is now separated completely from the touch bar, which does mean that the 16-inch MacBook Pro literally is just a bigger MacBook. They didn't shrink the bezels much. They may have shrunk them a little bit, but this is why it's starting to make sense that they didn't want to have an event. I felt like there was enough things to talk about with the new MacBook Pro that it could have warranted an event, but if it's literally just we made a bigger one, then yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and say we don't really need a event over that, especially if it's going to be the same keyboard as before. That looks to be exactly the same. Speakers might be a little bit better. Hopefully it's a performance upgrade where it's just like, okay, we have better cooling mechanisms now. We have really good CPU and GPU performance. But yeah, if you were hoping for some type of big redesign or new big upgrade for the MacBook Pro, the 16-inch sounds like it's going to be very, very small of an upgrade. But I'm sure, mobile Mac users will be happy about it. They'll get better performance or maybe some better cooling. But yeah, it's not going to be the big redesign we were all hyping it up to be, which is a shame. But like I said, I'm not that bummed out about it because I'm happy with my iMac Pro. Even if the 16-inch MacBook Pro was a giant redesign, I probably wasn't going to get it anyway because it's likely going to start at $3,000. And yeah, I guess it's not too big of an issue that they're sticking with Butterfly. I just think that a lot of people would have been happier if they went with scissor keys. But the latest generation Butterfly keyboard has had, as far as I can see, little to no complaints. People have been saying there's no real issues with the stability or the sticky keys. So if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, hey, maybe keep Butterfly keyboard around. Maybe it's not too bad, but hopefully there's not more issues with this one. It froze while jumping. Who scared it? Well, someone wrote boo in the chat, and I was scared crapless. I'm glad it's Butterfly that has less travel and is moral. It is moral when I'm used to my iPad Pro. What do you mean, moral or normal? Do you think we get ARM MacBook next year? Maybe in the MacBook model? Possibly, yeah. I mean, the leaks for the ARM-based MacBook started like several years ago, and even several years ago they said that it wouldn't be until 2020. So from what I've heard, more than likely the first ARM-based MacBook will be end of next year. Based on what we're hearing about internally and that Apple wants to move on to it. And I think Intel has even made statements on it saying that, yeah, Apple's moving towards their own CPUs soon. And obviously with their CPU performance doing so well in the iPads and iPhones, Microsoft's already moving towards ARM-based CPUs. So, like, yeah, why wouldn't Apple? I don't think it would be very early, though. It's probably not going to be early in the year. My guess is going to be this time next year. The first ARM-based MacBook will probably be around 2020, October timeframe. So that's my guess. Hey, Isaac Bear 90, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate it. Another 5 bits from Ham says, do you think the ARM chips they will put in the Macs will have built-in graphics, or do you think they will keep using AMD graphics even with the ARM chips? Yeah, that's a good question. It probably depends on how much graphics the ARM can support. My guess is that Apple would rather go all in on their own designs, like they don't use AMD GPUs on their iPad Pros, and those can handle graphics pretty well. So with the MacBooks, more than likely they would move just straight to their own GPU performance integrated with the ARM chips. But I don't know. I'm not the expert. I'm not the computer engineer. So they might keep AMD around. And Renee Ritchie has commented that it might be not a night and day switch over where Apple's like 1 second we're Intel, next second we're ARM across the entire lineup. It may take a few years to get everything completely switched over. So most people assume that the lower end MacBooks would get ARM first, which makes sense because they need it more because they're running very low powered, very low performance Intel CPUs. So if you were to boost performance of lower end MacBooks that don't have great cooling systems, MacBooks that are very thin, like the iPad Pro, which has an ARM chip that's really powerful, it would make sense that you start out the conversion process with the lower end MacBooks. So whether that means the return of the 12-inch MacBook or maybe the next gen MacBook Air, there you can be like, hey, we're going to start moving towards ARM CPUs. And now the MacBook Air, which is known for having basic dual-core CPUs, which aren't great, now it has a very power-efficient ARM-based CPU that we've designed ourselves that's more powerful than a lot of Intel CPUs. So that would be a great upgrade if people found out that you could have very high performance on a very thin, very low-powered MacBook Air. And Project Catalyst plays a part of ARM conversion. That's why they're introducing it now. They're like, hey guys, we're going to try to make it easy for you to convert your iPad apps over to the Mac. We're going to try to streamline this whole app development process. And I understand that there would be a whole lot of things left behind if you moved the Mac towards ARM, because you would have to be ditching a lot of x86 apps. This is all very technical, I know. But a lot of third-party apps that don't optimize their programs right away would be left behind on that MacBook, which is very possible. Like, unless they get really good at emulation and running x86 apps in an emulator. But I could see Apple not doing that. I could see Apple just saying, no, you got to adapt your app or move on. So it would be one of those situations where it's like, if you're heavily reliant on, I don't know, Steam for your MacBook Air, I know, right? Running Counter-Strike on your MacBook, so common. Or if you're very reliant on the Adobe Creative Cloud suite, buying an ARM-based Mac when it's first available is probably not a good idea. You'll probably want to wait until they start optimizing their apps for ARM-based CPUs before you switch over. But first-party apps like Final Cut Pro or Logic or those kind of things are probably going to be optimized for ARM right away when Apple starts shipping it, and you'll probably see hints of it within the next macOS code. That's why we know the next MacBook won't have Face ID, is because we would have seen it within macOS Catalina. There would have been hints for that, and there isn't. So the reason we know there's not ARM-based MacBooks coming out before June of 2020 is because there's no hints towards, ARM-based CPUs within macOS Catalina. So I think that makes the most amount of sense that it's probably coming October, and they'll probably something low end. Start with a 12-inch MacBook or a MacBook Air and be like, hey, it has really good performance even though it doesn't have a fan. And then over the years, they'll slowly start upping them. And there might be conversion processes where it's like the next-gen iMac Pro has both. You have the Apple custom CPU, but you also have AMD graphics within one machine or something like that. I mean, think of the Mac Pro. This thing is launching at the very end of 2019, and it's very, very open towards modularity and letting other company, building modules that you upgrade yourself and swapping out the RAM and the GPU and the storage. And that's all being built on the x86 architecture. So, I mean, I don't think the Mac Pro will be very easy for you to just pop out the CPU with an ARM-based one. Maybe it will be, I don't know, but that would be kind of tricky. 26 bits or 28 bits from Charles Patterson. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. Are you going to get a Pixel 4 for Halloween? No. It's not happening, guys. I'm a man of my word occasionally, and I've decided the Pixel 4 is a joke. Google didn't even try, and I would not give any insightful review advice of the Pixel 4 if I bought one and used it myself. I know I don't like it, and even if I used it, I know I won't like it. So I'm putting my foot down on this one. I don't want to review the Pixel 4. I feel like that phone is a horrible joke, and Google's not trying, so why should I? Why do I need to bother with that thing? And I also think it got way too much media attention. If that same exact phone came out from any other company, no one would give a crap. It would be in the news for like a couple hours, and then we would all forget about it the next day. But because it's from Google, it got like 2 weeks of attention, and it really didn't deserve it. And every day I hear more bullcrap about it, more issues it's having, or more Some people were having charge issues with the Pixel 4, so they were plugging it in and it wouldn't charge with the first party charger. And I'm like, I just don't care. It sucks, and I don't want to give it more attention because I want Google to get the picture, get the point. You're not doing this right. You're screwing it up. Quit trying to make flagships. Don't make another Pixel 4. Every Pixel from here on out should start at $400. All right? Every Pixel from here on out. If you want to continue the Pixel line, arguably you shouldn't. You could just stop making them. But if you have to continue them, make more affordable ones. Just make budget models because flagships aren't your strong suit. That's for Apple and Samsung and OnePlus to do. Yeah, focus on the budget phones. Will you dress up as a Pixel 4? What, I could just have a big forehead. There's my Pixel 4 design. There's my red notch at the top. Where's Unbox Therapy? It's so ugly. Marquez doesn't even like it. That's how you know it's bad. I hope the sales for the Pixel 4 are so bad that they just quit doing them. If they want to keep doing like the Pixel 3a, that's fine. That phone was good. I enjoyed using that. But anything over $400 starting, like the Pixel 3 I think is a fair price. I think it could be lower, but for what you're getting, $400 is pretty good for what you get out of that phone. But aside from, if they went any higher, and a lot of people, when the Pixel 4 came out, were like, you know what? I'm more interested in the 4a. And I was like, what would that do? What do you want? You want a Pixel 3a with a telephoto camera? Is that it? The Pixel 4a would probably be smashed by the SE2. I think you're right. At least it would have front-facing fingerprint reader. Pixel 4 is a great phone at $600 and below. I disagree. I'd say Pixel 4 should have been $400 for what you get out of that joke. Send it to your worst enemy. Ooh, that would be funny. No thanks. Google does know how to redefine the word trash. Well said. Very well said. Yes. So there's a new MacBook Pro coming eventually. I don't know when. It could happen at any time. And the AirTags are basically confirmed. I don't use that word easily. If it's just Ming-Chi Kuo or Digitimes or Ben Geskin or someone saying confirmed or this is going to happen, I don't usually say confirmed. But when it's hidden within iOS code and they're starting to use specific names, that's when you know it's pretty much going to happen. It's just a matter of time. So we're seeing the items section in the Find My app for AirTags. Now we're seeing the name AirTags referenced in iOS code. At that point, you can start to admit, okay, these are definitely happening. It'd be a very rare or very bizarre situation where they just don't come out at all, but they get referenced super heavily within the code. So who knows? But they could come at really anytime. Why are people making jokes on the website again? People are posting fake MacBook Pro pictures, and every time they do that, I have to go and check to make sure they are joking. Okay, they're joking. There's people too good at Photoshop these days. iPhone SE starting price $500. Nope. Quo said it'll be $400, and I believe him. Google has the most power to do great things in Android phones, but what they're releasing now isn't showing it. Yeah. People are just bashing that battery life. Marquez, Augustine, and all big Apple supporter had the AirPods Pro on the next day. How is it possible? Is this new to you guys? Like the bigger YouTubers, the ones that go to Apple events, they always get products earlier than everybody else. It's been this way for several years. They have a contact. They have a specific media consultant who works for Apple that sends them products before they come out. That's why you saw Marquez review the 11 and the 11 Pro before everybody else got theirs, or the Apple Watch before everybody else got theirs. They get things early because they have large fan bases, and Apple wants YouTubers and reviewers to get stuff early. So it's been that way for years now. That's not new. It's not a new thing, guys. Everything else they make is a privacy invasive trash load. It's not even the privacy I'm worried about. It's just the battery life. If you got to spy on me all day to get an all-day battery life, then go ahead. But get an all-day battery life, please. Don't shrink the battery and put a 90 hertz display on it. Pixel 4a might be coming late December. The Pixel 4a should just be the Pixel 4. and then just cut the price in half. That would be the great Pixel 4. It's like it's the same exact phone. We just decided to slash the price. As much as Apple focuses on privacy, I am surprised they haven't developed their own search engine. Yeah, I mean, maybe they want to work on that, but they also get billions of dollars a year to just not make their own search engine. Safari's a browser, not a search engine, but Google pays them billions and billions to just not change the default search engine from Google. So if they found a way to make the search engine profitable in a way that they could make money off of it and make more than what Google's willing to pay them, then maybe it would be worth their time. But yeah, I think for the most part, it's in Apple's financial best interest to just be like, I mean, they keep sending us more and more money, so why bother? But Google spies on people in way more ways than just the search engine. Google itself is a word. Yeah, Apple would have to make any time a search engine tries to go up against Google, it never goes very well. R&D for that search engine would probably cost a lot, and they would have to find new ways to navigate the internet. I mean, I don't know if it would cost billions, but yeah, I mean, it's like we can just sit here and do nothing. Think of it this way. Think like if all of you are sitting at home right now or at school, if I said don't do anything and I'll give you $12 billion, or run 10 miles and I won't give you anything, most of you are just going to sit there and take the 12 billion, I think. That's Apple's situation right now. What if you do nothing and we pay you, but if you do something, I won't pay you? Dang it. One UI 2.0 thoughts? It's a stupid name. I don't know. I haven't followed One UI 2.0. Just call it 2 UI. Why do you call it 1.2? Pixel 5 won't have Soli. Yeah, that's probably a good assumption. I'd be very surprised if the radar chip made it into the next Pixel. But I also would be surprised if they made a Pixel 5 at this point. Now that there's so many people that are saying the iPhone camera surpassed the Pixel 4 and the Pixel line in general, it's like, that was your one thing. That was the one thing you had. What do you think about Google's quantum computer prototype? I know nothing about it, so I don't think much about it. Apple advertised privacy for search engine monetization. They got to collect data. Yeah, so if you made a search engine dependent on privacy, it would be kind of difficult to make money off of. So, to develop a search engine costs money, so it would be a money-losing process. Free billions of dollars just to keep it the default search engine in Safari. Yeah, I mean, it's easy money. I don't blame them. If there was if people paid me to do nothing, I would do it. People paid me to just not change anything. Okay. What about Tesla? Will you buy the new Y model? Hey, someone brought up Tesla. Now I can talk about that for the rest of the stream. This is when my viewers go, man, like I really like the Model Y. It's really, really nice, but without giving too much away, I don't want to wait that long. Let's just put it that way. The first deliveries for the Model Y are probably still not going to be for another year. I know they're ahead of schedule, but I still don't think, given mass production's rumored to start in summer of 2020, I would have to wait until the end of 2020 before I would get the first Model Y. So it's cool, but... And the other thing is I'm more eager to buy the standard range option, and that's going to not even come out until 2021. That's going to be even later because the Model Y production starts off with long range and performance, and then later switches over to, and then later they'll have the standard range option brought later. But Great Dane says, it's a good thing you're honest about the viewers regarding Tesla talk. Love it. I prefer talk, though. I prefer talk, though. What do you prefer? Apple talk. Gotcha. I consider Tesla tech, which is why I don't call my channel Taylosive Apple News or anything like that. So Tesla is tech, and I like Tesla. So I think there's a lot more interesting things going on in the Tesla field than the Apple talk. But I know that most people watch for the iPhone and stuff. I'm aware. But I don't care. I still like talking about it. And the Model 3 has better range than the Model Y, and I think the Model Y is slightly more expensive. Not in the long-range department, but You get worse range on the Model Y compared to the 3. You do get better storage options, but I I've been driving a sedan for several years now, and I'm fine with it. I don't run into a lot of situations where I'm like oh man, I wish I had a bigger trunk, or I wish I had more storage space, or I need a SUV. Like, I hardly ever have 4 people in my car. Most of the time it's just me and my wife in our Sonata. So I really don't need a bigger trunk or a hatchback, as cool as those are. I'm glad they're making the Model Y, and I'm glad they're ahead of schedule. But honestly, I actually have contacted someone from Tesla about this because I'm somewhat curious. I want to know if you can, like, I want to know if you can take a Model 3 that you've recently purchased, and then, like, a few months later, can you give it back to the Tesla dealership and then get money towards a Model Y? Like, I want to basically, I know you wouldn't get 100% of your money back. That's not how Teslas work. But I would like in a year or so after owning a Model 3, I would like to trade it back in for a Y later, which would be kind of nice. But I don't know. They probably don't offer that. I know I would probably have to pay more because they're not going to give you 100% of your money back. But if it was only like if it was under 10 grand to upgrade my 3 to a Y, I think that would maybe be worth it. If you return the car before 1,000 miles, you get your money back. Yeah, I know that, but I'm not. It's going to take a few months. I would have to not drive the Model 3 at all to keep it under 1,000 miles, or 7 days. That's the other thing. After 7 days, you can't return it for a full refund. But my thing is, like, I would like to have the Model 3 for a good year and then take it back to Tesla for a trade-in credit and then put it towards a Model Y. That might be something I do someday, but I don't know. We're talking a long time from now. I'm not getting a Model 3 anytime soon. Great Danes is my dream car right now is the Renault Kangoo ZE. I have to fit a Great Dane in my car. A Tesla can't do that really well as of now. You got a lot of space in a Model X or a Model Y. You have a lot of space. But I don't know what that kind of car is. Maybe that's bigger than what I'm imagining. Please enjoy this $100. Thank you, Ham Powered, except that's $1, but I still appreciate it. Yeah, if you see me mispronounce a word, it's because I don't know what that word is, and I haven't followed people very much. It's not $100. Bruh. It's 100 bits. 1 bit is a penny. Do you think Tesla is setting themselves for failure in a way? All of their tech is cool, but do you think bigger companies like Ford, Toyota, and General Motors can just take those features and ideas, then run with it and stay at the top? No, I don't. Mostly because if Ford wants to start switching to electric vehicles, they're going to be buying their batteries from someone. And guess who's offering the cheapest batteries for the best kilowatt hour right now? It's Tesla. And if you want to have a really good charger network for your up-and-coming electric vehicles, then whose charger network can you use? Because Tesla is willing to work with other car companies on this. So if Ford wants to make the next big popular EV, they're going to have to use the Tesla supercharging network, which Tesla gets paid for, which Tesla will get money out of. So basically, Tesla has poised themselves in a way that they can't really lose because they know that electric cars are the future. And also, sales of Teslas are doing really, really well lately. Model 3 is one of the best-selling cars by revenue right now. And if the specifications on the Tesla pickup truck are in any way accurate, which they're most likely going to be, that's 1 bit is 1 penny. Okay, 100 bits is $1. People, get it right. But what was I talking about? The Model 3 sales are going to do really well, and now they're starting up a gigafactory in Shanghai, which is one of the largest car markets in the world, if not the largest automotive market in the world. So once production starts ramping up there, and it's already production ready, they're just waiting on permission from the Chinese government, then they're going to sell Model 3s even better over in China than they're already selling here, which is really good. And now that they got the pickup truck cooking and they're going to have that ready, pickup trucks sell really, really well in the U.S. And most citizens end up paying a lot more for pickups than they do for sedans. So if Elon's right and they're able to get that pickup truck near 50 grand, it can be over because it's electric. So the cost of maintaining it will be a lot cheaper. And it will also have the performance of a sports car and functionality that other pickup trucks won't be able to hold up to. Then yeah, the pickups probably going to do really well. And they made a profit last quarter. So they're on the up and up. They're doing really well. Let's see. 10-Bits says, can't afford the Model X. Currently drive the Renault Zoe. It's an electric too, like the Kangoo. The Zoe is like the cheapest available EV, and the Kangaroo is a transportation EV. I only care about fitting a Great Dane properly in my car. As of now, it's fine with a tiny car, but when I have my dog, I must have a huge boot for my pup. Gotcha. As someone who has never owned a dog, I have a very hard time relating, but I understand. Thank you for the 100 bits, Ham Powered. Thank you for the 100 bits, Movieator, who said, hey, Drew, have $1. Appreciate the buck. That was nice of you. Ham Powered, thank you for the couple bucks. You uploaded the AirPods Pro vid the same moment I asked how the AirPods Pro are doing. Yes, I saw that question, and now it is answered. The video is out, and we're going to be wrapping up the stream here, but I appreciate the Twitch Primes, appreciate the donations. Happy Halloween. Stay safe. I hope you guys have fun trick-or-treating if you do that. If not, just eat some candy. It's very bad for you, but who cares? Just have a good time, and enjoy the new tech vid. See you all later. Bye-bye.